Alright folks, so this is AutoCAD Shapes. So it's an assignment. We're going to learn about how to use AutoCAD to draw simple shapes that are closed bodies, and then we're going to use dimensions to show the sizes of each of these objects. So first thing you're going to do up here is download the ALC blank size B drawing. Download. It should pop up here, and then click to open, and it should open automatically. If this pops up, you just say ignore. And we've got this big blank paper here. So the first thing you want to do is just get familiar with just how this works. So this area is basically where the printout is going to be. Model, this tab down here, this is where we actually model everything, where we do all of our drawing. So we're going to spend most of our time in here and then just see what the preview looks like here when it's ready to print. Alright, so let's go to model. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to follow along and draw this Utah shape right here, and then we'll just kind of go down the line and do all of these. And it shouldn't take too long, and it's not too bad. So first little thing, when we get set up here, when we first open up, there's a bunch of buttons down here, and these are just kind of our interface. So this one right here is a grid. The grid is helpful, you know, if you need it. We don't necessarily need it for this one. It's just a preference thing if you would like to. This right here is a snap grid. So if I click this on, notice how my cursor, if I zoom in, you can see it a little better. Like this. It's going to snap to increments that I can set. So if I set the snap settings to like 0.25, click OK, you'll see this kind of align with those, but we don't really need that one, so we're going to turn that off. Over here, this is your O snap. That's short for object snap. If you hit the down drop here, there's a bunch of different things we want to use. These are all different clickable features on lines and polygons. So endpoints, midpoints, center points, the geometric center, and like all these good things. Basically, if you have these all lined up the way I do, the same one selected, like so if you click next to it, it'll turn it on. I want to have all of these ones selected, especially endpoint, midpoint, center, quadrant, intersection, extension, perpendicular, tangent, and nearest. Those ones are all kind of our bread and butter. Parallel is also a nice one, but we'll turn that one off right now. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is draw the Utah shapes. I'm going to start with line. I'm going to show you two different ways to draw these things. First, we're going to start in the north west corner, and it goes over this way. Also, this is important. Notice how my line is yellow. I don't want that. So up here, this is going to control what color and what type of line we have. So if I draw a object line, it's going to be orange. So I'm going to draw a line. And that's going to create a line right there. If I go back to my final drawing, you can see the line pop up. If I were to change this to like a hidden line, it's going to become a dashed line, and that will change the type in the final view as well. So I'm going to hit Control Z, undo that, because I don't want it, and I'm going to delete that one too. So delete things, hit Escape. You always want to make sure your command or whatever tool you had selected is gone. Click and delete. So back to line, or you can type in line and hit enter, and that will give you that tool as well. I'm going to click, and it's going to ask me the blue number saying, hey, how far do you want this to go? And it's going to go 1 inch, and I'll click tab. You can see down here it's asking me the angle I want to use. And this one's a flat line, so it's 0, enter. And I'll go straight down. This one's going to go down 0.5, so I'm going to type in 0.5 tab 90. It's a vertical line. Zoom a little bit more here. And I'm going to go to the right, 0.75, tab 0, and enter. I'm going to go straight down. And this one's 2 inches, so 2, tab 90, enter. And this is where it gets a little confusing because I've got to go backwards. So we're going to go this way. So instead of 0, I'm going to actually use 180 degrees. It goes back 1.75, tab 180, enter. I'll go straight up and connect there. And I've got this line that's kind of following along. It thinks I want to draw more lines. I don't. So I just hit Escape, and there we go. All right, so next is, oh, and a couple of things too, just now that we've got this here, if I click on a line and I try to like move it like this, it's not a part of it, it's all separated. So if I want to move something, I have to click once and then highlight everything, and then I have to click the line and click and drag on the lines in order to move it. So that selects all of them together. There's other tricks we can use down the road, but we can worry about that later. Right now we're just learning how to draw these. Okay, so the next one is the house. And the house is kind of tricky because it does not give us all of the measurements. So we'll do what we do know, and the order is kind of important. So I'm going to use my line tool. I'm going to start right here and come straight down. It looks like it goes 1.25 tab 90 enter. And it goes over this way. I'm going to type in 1.5 tab 0 enter. I'm going to go up 1.25 tab 90 enter. And then this is the part where it gives me the angle, but it does not tell me the length of that line. So it's a 45-degree angle, and the complement to that is 135. So I'm just going to leave this, that length or whatever. Maybe just say 2. So I'm purposely going too long. And I'll go tab and type in 135, hit enter. And I'm going to go escape. Hit another line here. Draw from there. You do kind of the same thing, 2, tab, 45, enter, and escape. So now I've got these really long hairs that are sticking off the top of the house that I don't need. So I'm going to get rid of those by using the trim tool. So I go up here to click these scissors, and then if I just click on these lines, it will get rid of those and they'll be the exact right size. Perfect. So that looks good. All right, next one is the upside down Nevada shape. It's kind of similar where it has a length we don't know. So we're going to use that one last. So my first one's going to be at the top point. It goes down 2.75, tab 90, enter. I'm just going to go this way. Goes 2 inches, tab 0, enter. It's going to go straight up just a tiny bit. 0.75, tab 90, enter. And then the last value here can only, in order to intersect there, it has to be this length. So we'll just click there and then escape. We've got it. Very nice. All right, now hexagon tool. So the hexagon is found under the polygon. So over here, where you've got your rectangle tool, hit the down drop, and it's polygon. So click there. And I want to have it 6 sides, so I'll type in 6, click enter, and then it's going to say where do you want to place this. I'll just put it over here somewheres, and then it's going to ask me, do I want this inscribed or circumscribed? So the difference there is basically, could we draw this inside or outside of a circle? When it's inscribed, you can infer that it's inside the circle. Circumscribed, it's outside the circle. So I'm going to click circumscribed, and it's going to ask me what's the radius. And this one, it says it's 2 inches top to bottom, but it's just asking me the radius, so we're going to do 1 inch. Hit enter. There it is. Beauty. All right. And next is the kind of door shape. So I'm going to go to a new tool. So this is called Polyline. So I'm going to click on Polyline, and the magic of Polyline is that it allows me to combine more than one type of line, including arcs. So let's start, let's do the top corner here, and then go straight down, and it goes 2.25, tab 90, enter, and it goes to the right, 2, enter, and then up, 2.25, enter, and then now I want to put an arc here, but you can see I still have my line selected. So before I try to click anything, notice there's a little dialog box that says specify next point or click down. So I'm going to use the down arrow on my keyboard like that, and I can toggle between different tools. And I know my mouse is kind of in the way there, but I want to go to arc and hit enter, and now I have an arc that is going to be perfectly tangent. I use it. So I want to type in 2, so it's the right distance, tab, and then 180. Enter. And then I can hit escape, and it's all done. But notice this is not quite touching there, so I'm going to use, if yours isn't like mine, I'm going to use the parametric, and then tell this to connect right here, and that'll fit together again. I'm actually surprised that didn't just work, but anyway. So I've got that shape, and it's all good to go. Next one is the arc, archway. So we use polyline again, home, polyline, and let's start on the inside of that. So it's right here with the 1 inch. So 1 inch, tab 90, and then it goes this way, 1 inch, tab 180, enter. It's going to go straight up 2.75, tab 90, enter. I'll go over this way, and it goes 4 inches, tab 0, enter, and then straight down, and that's 2.75, tab 90, enter, over 1 inch, tab 180, enter, and then straight up 1, tab 90, enter. And now we got to do our arc, so let's click the down drop, select arc, and it's 2 inches, I believe, tab 180, enter. Now if I hit escape, that should be perfectly aligned. It looks good. We've done it. Awesome. Alright, then the last one is the letter C. And the letter C is a little bit tricky. It's got a few features that we want to make sure are selected first. So if I hit this down drop right here under the O snap, I want to make sure that center is highlighted. That's going to make this a much easier process. So got that one. So go circle tool, and I'm going to draw the first one, which is the one I'm using, by the way, is radius for this one. Normally we would use diameter, but the radius is given, so this is going to be a little bit easier to use. And it's 1.5. Hit enter, and then I'm going to draw another circle. If I kind of hover over the circle, it'll highlight the center point. So I'm going to click that one and type in 0.75. Enter. And now I'm going to go my line tool, line, find the center point. I'm going to draw a line that goes up 1.5, tab 45 degrees, enter. And then escape. I'll do the same thing down here. 1.5, tab 45, enter, and escape. Beauty. So I've got these lines, they look great. And now I'm going to erase these things using the trim tool. So I'll go up here, find the little scissors, trim. I'm just going to click on these, or I can click and drag, and it'll make this line of death. So it just goes like that. And that leaves you with the letter C. Cool. All right. They look great. We're very proud of it. We love it. And next, we're going to shade these, because right now, if I go to my final drawing, you can see them. They're here, but they don't have any color. And I'm going to go to mode, and I'm going to keep these all the same color just for simplicity and for time, so you don't have to watch me color all of these. But you can make these whatever color or pattern you'd really like, just for funzo. But you go to the hatch pattern, which is under the home tab, right here. And I'm going to say solid, so they're all solid color. And then right here where it says by layer or whatever, I'm just going to change this to like a light gray or something like that. And then I'm just going to select inside each of these spaces. That. And then click enter. Oops. Okay. So yeah, if I click that space there, it'll highlight all of those, and I don't want that. So enter. And it looks good. Now, if you do get a situation where if you highlight one of the shapes and then the whole thing changes, you might have to zoom in on the corners, because kind of like I had over here with this little corner that I had to connect manually. If those are open, then it'll bleed out. It's kind of like there's a leak, and the paint will spill out all over the board. All right, so I'm back to final drawing. That looks a lot better. I can see those. They have a higher contrast against the paper. So now I'm going to go to annotate, and I'm going to do some dimensioning. So I'm going to click dimension, and you can just copy the dimensions that are shown on the paper. So I'm going to click here, add one like that, Add one like this. That looks great. Add one, and then for this one I've got to use corners. So I'm going to use this corner and that corner over there. And this one I'm clicking the edge, like that. And down here, nice. And then this one right here, beauty. That looks good. So you just kind of follow that through and do all of the same ones. If I want to edit these, hit escape, and notice how these are just kind of messy. I can click on these and I can drag just the number like that, and that looks a lot better in my opinion. Nice. So looks better. And then over here, the angles are a little hard. The angles have usually frustrate students a little bit. If I go to Dimension Tool, for an angle I have to click the two reference sides. So for this first one, to show that this is 45, I'm going to use this angle here, or this side, and then I'll click this side, and that will create a 45 like that. So when you're doing these, you got to be careful, however, to select the right spots. If I select endpoints or midpoints, it won't work for the angle. So if I click this midpoint, or sorry, this endpoint, and then this midpoint, thinking that it's going to make an angle, it's just going to give me a linear dimension like that, and it doesn't work. So I'm going to go again from here, make sure I don't select that, and I don't select that, which is the midpoint. So here, and oh, I think I did select that. So right here and here, like that, and you got it. All right, and then on the angle for this one, same idea, here and here, looks good. When we're getting this length from here to here, I'm going to use these endpoints on purpose to get the top and the bottom. When I'm doing the arcs, I can just click on those and then place them. They're pretty easy. Same thing here. Click the wrong one. There we go. Awesome. And then the angle in here is a tricky one as well. So I'm going to go Dimension, and I'm going to be really careful to click that. And then over here, I'll click this one, and it will automatically give me that 90-degree angle there, which is nice. And then this one is just like that. Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty much all of those. And I'm missing a lot of the dimensions. I'll let you fill the rest in. Those ones are pretty easy. Down here, we want to change the title block. So this is the title block. So I'm going to double click on here and highlight everything. And then in all caps, I'm going to call this shapes. And we do all caps because that's actually standard for drafting. They're right in all caps because it's easier to read it. And then down here for the scale, that's fine. Drawn by, this is going to be your name. So I'll double click on that, highlight everything. So I'm going to write my name in, Marlowe, and then just click off to the side. And notice how my name was a little bit too long for that space. And yours probably will be too. If I click on it, I can drag this out like that. And then I can single click here and that will shift it over. You can just kind of center it and kind of eyeball, more or less like that. And then the date, that one's easy. Just type in today's date. Today just so happens to be 10/23/25. Might be a different day for you. And there it is. Okay, that's the drawing. That's what it should look like when you're done. And then we go to save it, of course, so make sure you've got it saved. And you can save this somewhere safe, like your in your student folders. Anyway, I've already got saved, so I'm going to cancel. And then we're going to go to output. So this is how we essentially print it to submit. So we go output, export, and then PDF. That's the fastest way to get there. And then I'm going to save it somewhere I can find it again. Your student drive is best. I'm just going to put mine on the desktop just because. And I've done this a couple times, so we're going to call this copy 2 and save. And then on Canvas, if I go to my student view so you can see what this looks like, I'm going to go try and find a file. This one I just did. Nice. I'll click open and submit. I get the cool confetti, and it might come in sideways. If it doesn't, and then great. And notice how the line thicknesses did change here. So my object lines that were in orange are now thicker and more pronounced than my dimension lines. In AutoCAD, back here, before it prints, they all look kind of the same, and that's on purpose. Once it's printed, that's when it shows you the real difference. So, and be sure you're printing from this sheet and not this one. If I print from this one, it's not going to look right. So you want this one. Winner, loser, winner, that one. That's the one we want. Okay, anyway, that's all I got, so thank you for watching, and good luck.